This video is sponsored by Skillshare.
There's a certain type of film stock out there that until very recently I had never dipped my toes into. I was aware of them, I'd seen samples of them, but there was just something about them that I couldn't get behind. I'm talking about special effects films. And no, I'm not talking about like film stocks that were used in the process of doing special effects work on movies. Sorry, Kodak 2238, this video unfortunately is not about using discontinued panchromatic black and white print stocks to make archival black and white separation positives from color negative originals for special effects, density cover mats, and panchromatic masters from black and white negatives and restoration work. Another time when I have more money. But for now, this goes back in the freezer. No, I'm talking about films from manufacturers like Kono and Revolog, primarily. Films of the pre-exposed with funky effects on them variety. A little while ago, Freestyle Photo out in LA asked if I wanted to shoot some films that I hadn't shot before. One of those is Kono Delight Art 2 400. A title that is simply too long, by the way, but I had never shot this stuff before, and it also kind of got me thinking about just the other pre-exposed special effects stuff as well. And so let's do a bit of a roll review on this and talk about some of those films. Kono Delight Art 2 400 is described by Kono as the fifth product of the Kono Delight line, and it produces saturated and at the same time bright colors. When the sun is shining, the film shows the world in delicate pastel shades. The lower the light, the stronger the tint. The look of the Delight Art 2 400 film is an homage to the late 1970s. And from my experience shooting this roll, I've found that all of that means that the film is incredibly yellow. Very, very, very yellow. I've seen some samples that aren't quite this yellow, but I've also seen ones on Kono's website pretty similar to what I've gotten here with my roll, so I don't think anything is wrong with the film. This just seems to be the effect that you're going to get with Kono Delight Art 2 400. Oh, you thought I had more to say about Kono Delight Art 2, 400. I don't. It's yellow. It's very, very, very just yellow. It's just super yellow. Everything is yellow. There's not more detail to go into. I shot it at 400, which is the box speed, the advertised box speed of this. I shot it on a nice bright sunny day. It's just very yellow. An homage to the late 1970s, I don't know about that. I don't think there's that much more to say about this film. Let's dig a little bit deeper outside of my samples of just that specific film though. I opted not to spend a ton of money on all of these special effects films just for this video, but I wanted to talk a little bit about them anyways. Specifically for Kono Delight Art 2 400, this is Kodak Ultramax, which has been tinted somehow. The developed negative has Kodak edge coating, and Kono also doesn't try to keep this a secret either. I have nothing wrong with that. Rebranding film has been around since well before most of us were shooting film. It's perfectly fine. We know that Kono is not making a color emulsion from scratch. The negative is visibly a different color from other C41 films, and this is because it's been pre-exposed by some method, which is the real meat of how these special effects films come to be. Through some machine or technique, these rolls of standard, probably for the most part, Kodak color film are flashed with colors or static electricity or even images that give the roll a texture or like little hearts or just random stuff so that you, the photographer, can get unique and unpredictable results when shooting. You can also probably do a lot of this for yourself. I think that is my focus in talking about this. Here are like all of the specialty films that Kono makes, I think, from what I saw on their website. Kono Delight Art 100, Kono Delight Art 400, Kono Delight Art 2 100, Kono Delight Art 2 400, Kono Love, Kono Air, Kono UFO, Kono Cat, Kono Effect Film Boo, Kono Alien, Kono Winter Fairy Tale, Kono Original Moonstruck, Kono Original Monsoon, Kono Original Sunstroke, Kono Original Galaxy, Kono Original Mirage, Kono Original Candy, Kono Rotwild. They're all just meant to be like fun, unpredictable rolls of film that have, you know, color effects or textures or just like odd stuff on them. I don't care. I don't like any of them. I don't have any interest in shooting them or any more than Kono Delight Art 2 400. And if you like them, that's perfectly fine as well. But my main thing here is that you can do this yourself. And also, most of these rolls I think are just too expensive. A lot of these rolls range from like $17 American to as high as $27 American for the Kono stuff. This roll of Kono Art 2 Delight 402 Electric Boogaloo is like $20 American. This very, very yellow film. There's one roll that is like closer to $30 American for pre-exposed Ultramax or gold or whatever it is. There's also Revlog film, and a lot of that stuff is like the same kind of effects as you get with the Kono stuff. Revlog Echo, Color, 460 nm, 600 nm, Laser, Nebula, Paper, Rasp, Snowvlox, Streak, Tesla, Tesla 2, Texture, Volvox, Cosmos, Plexus, Tesla Black and White. Each of those rolls is like $17 as well, so like pretty similar to the Kono stuff, maybe sometimes cheaper. I'm pretty against spending money on these films and like recommending them to other people because, as I mentioned, you can probably do like a lot of this stuff, maybe not as cleanly as they are, but you can do it yourself as opposed to just paying for a roll where somebody's already done it for you. If you want like light leaks and like flares and stuff on your film, then you could get like a light tight container and pull all the film out in the dark and put it in there and then just poke little holes in whatever the container is and just, you know, blast it with like a little bit of light quickly here and there and just kind of see what you get. Or if you have a camera that has bad light seals around the film door, then that is like a built-in light flare generating machine for shooting film. Do you want that weird kind of like static damage on your film? Well, there's articles on how to do that and recreate it for yourself as well. Some of these black and white rolls especially look like they just kind of took a picture of like a texture or something. Just take like a macro close-up shot of like aluminum foil and then shoot your roll and double expose on top of that. It's a little tricky, of course, doing this yourself and, you know, getting all your frame lines to match up so that nothing kind of overlaps and is weird. I guess that's the appeal. They do it a little bit cleaner with whatever the method they're using is. But still, you can do so much of this yourself. Or you can go a step further and start doing film soup. Film soup is very, very popular, especially in like the lomography kind of community. There's a lot of articles, a lot of videos, a lot of samples of work out there. And it's just like taking film that you've shot and soaking it in different chemicals or different mixtures, plant substances, things like that, boil the film, like water damage it. That is, of course, more involved and more work because you're physically damaging the film and you want to be able to kind of develop that yourself because it's pretty hard to find a lab that will take film that has had damage like that done to it and run it through their nice machines, especially if you've soaked it in something weird like urine. It happens. Obviously, companies like Revlog and Kono and other companies that do it too, people like whoever puts out the psychedelic blues films, they're doing it on like a scale that is quicker and easier to replicate. Kono mentions that for their film, they are created by hand using the Reanimator, a device developed by Kono. It does high quality pre-exposed process for great results. But if you love the look of some of these films, then just try making it yourself. You can buy a 3-pack of Kodak Ultramax film for, like the price of the most expensive Kono roll, which is just pre-exposed Ektar. Film is a medium that lends itself to so much experimentation and interesting accidents because it's all just playing with light. So really, if you want those kinds of odd, imperfect results, then I think you're gonna get more out of the experience of just trying to recreate them yourself, as opposed to paying for roles where somebody's already done the interesting part before you even start to shoot it. It also lets you learn what works and what doesn't, and interesting techniques anyways, like multiple exposures on film. And really my final word on Kono for this film is it's bad, it's not great, it's not worth the money at all. Don't buy it, don't shoot it, it's just very yellow. Shoot it, just get a mild warming filter, any filter. Play with filters as well, all that stuff. Buy cheaper film and do interesting stuff for yourself. Oh, and never buy red scale film. Not from Kono, not from Lomography, not from anybody who is selling red scale film. Red scale film is just regular color film that you shoot backwards through the base of the film instead of right onto the emulsion of the film. So you're shooting through the base of the film, which means that you get very, very red, orange kind of results. You can do it with any color film that you buy. It doesn't need to be specially red scale film. Don't buy red scale film. Obviously, there are a ton of ways to creatively explore physically recreating these special effects on film, but of course the other option is fake it. People might not even know. And it's easy to do by learning a variety of creative programs through today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and more. Skillshare can take your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or other side hustles to the next level. You want to add textures to your photos or light leaks or any of that stuff, just add it digitally and lie to me. Why not? But may as well learn something in the process. Skillshare has courses for programs like Photoshop and Lightroom so that you can recreate some of these effects easily for yourself. Or you know what? Forget about this and film. $25 for 36 photos with hearts exposed on top of them? What are we even doing? You know what? Learn pottery. Learn pottery and make a mug and give it to someone that you love. Skillshare has courses on pottery. Pottery on the wheel, glazing, ceramics, throw a bowl. Unbelievable. It's a pot paradise.
Man, that is flagrant false advertising.
Whatever you want to learn, whether it's more about film photography or digital photography or pottery, Skillshare has got you covered. The first 500 people to use my link in the description will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today. Thank you so much for checking this out. Yes, the video looks different. I've moved things around in my apartment to a certain extent, so the area where I used to do the videos and rearrange stuff, I'm just kind of done with that now. I've done 200 videos like that or something like that, and it involves moving a lot of stuff around in my living room, and it's just time for something that is a little less effort on my part. Thank you so much to Freestyle. There is a link, a little affiliate link in the description for Freestyle. I also got a little bit of mail recently to the P.O. Box. You can find the address to that down in the description below, along with some other ways to support the channel. And these are just some fun 3D printed little film accessories. These are hooks to hang negatives and stuff over door frames. And then also things like these little adapters that help you to kind of load Patterson reels a little bit more. There are also some containers for holding 35mm film canisters. This person runs an Etsy store over at Hayworth Photo, so I will find the link in the description. Thank you for sending these to me. They are just nice little fun accessories. So check that out if you have any interest. And that's it. This is the video for the next little bit. It's quite hot in here right now because it is August in Toronto. But thank you so much for checking this out. Don't buy Kono Art Delight 400 unless you really like really yellow photos and you have no other way of achieving that look. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.